most attractive ponds are the ones that look really natural, like they've always been there. One secret to achieving this effect is choosing the right kind of rock. A common mistake is to use landscaping rock that isn't native to the area. It just doesn't match the environment. You'll also want to avoid using rocks that are all the same size and placing them in a symmetrical arrangement. That just looks unnatural. For inspiration, visit natural rivers, lakes, and other bodies of water in your area. Take notes and snap photos so you have a good idea of what kind of rocks to choose and how to place them. When the rocks are delivered, you'll want to sort them out according to size. Set aside the most interesting rocks as feature rocks and decide where they will look best in the water feature. Those will be the first ones to go in. As you place the larger rocks, pad them with the scraps you saved from your underlayment so they won't damage the liner. Once the big ones are in place, start working your way down in size until you've got a formation that looks and feels natural. Don't put in the filler rocks or gravel until you've placed your pond lighting. There's something about the way water plays on light that people find very attractive and fascinating. The most beautiful ponds we've seen use lighting to highlight decorative rocks, statues, and other points of interest. Just the way light dances off the waterfalls adds interest and depth. Halogen lights are great for directional lighting. Install them in or out of the water to light up a dramatic rock formation or a statue. Be sure to coil an extra 5 to 10 feet of cable and secure it under each light. That will save you a headache when it's time to change the bulbs. You can just draw the whole fixture up out of the water. LED lights create a more ambient effect. These little giant models are highly energy efficient, and they have 11 pre-programmed settings. You can create your own light show with these. Installation on both kinds of little giant pond lighting is really easy. Just secure the unit in place and run the power cord to your transformer. One transformer will run up to 3 halogen light units and up to 18 LED light units. Once the lights are in place, plug in your transformers. Choose your presets, and the lights are ready to dazzle your homeowners. Then you can finish off your rock work with gravel filler or river rock, which helps fill in the small openings between larger rocks and boulders. Plants and flowers are more than a finishing touch. They actually help maintain the quality of the water in your water feature while adding beauty. Water plants require different planting techniques than your usual landscape ornamentals, but it's an easy skill to master. Follow the Garden Center's instructions for water plant placement. It may seem contrary to your natural instinct, but water lilies are actually placed below water level. Don't worry, in a couple of weeks they'll be at the surface of the pond and looking great. Using one of these sturdy little giant plant baskets, we place some gravel in the bottom of the basket for weight, and then add the plant. Aquatic planting media can also be used. Other plants will thrive on the higher plateaus you created. As you place the plants, don't be afraid to move things around. Your goal should be to create an environment that looks as natural as possible. Now it's time to take this pond for a test drive. First, fill it about 2/3 full of water, just enough to get the pump going. Then, kick on the electricity to get things moving. Check the pump to make sure it's operating and test the lighting. This is really the only way to make sure the waterfalls are flowing the way you want them to. If you need to, turn off the power and adjust or add rocks. Then run the system again to make sure you've got it right. When you're satisfied, turn the power off again so you can start the finishing work. With the power off and the rocks moist, it's time to use expanding foam. Foam helps fill any voids between rocks so that the water always flows over the rocks instead of behind or between them. You'll probably want to wear gloves because pond foam is made to stick. The foam will have to dry for a half hour or 45 minutes before you can turn the water and power back on. While it's drying, trim off any large amounts of excess liner. Then hide the edge behind rocks. Add planting beds around the edges, mulching them well. A few quick passes with a pond net will skim out any large debris. Then all you have to do is bring the water up to level, turn on the power, and admire a job well done. Once you've built a beautiful pond, it's important to keep it looking clean and healthy. Mother Nature has her own way of achieving this. We can give her a little help with some simple technique. Periodically, you or the homeowner will need to clean out the skimmer. Simply shut the weir gate to prevent more water from entering the skimmer and let the pump empty the box. Then, hose off the brushes and net on the grass. Check the pump annually for clogs. Once or twice a year, the biological waterfall filter unit will need a little TLC. Use the manual backwash feature to empty the vortex settling chamber of any muck and debris that is settled. Filter pads only need hosing off once or twice a year. More than that will kill the beneficial bacteria that the pond water needs. The biological media bag can simply be dunked a few times in a bucket of pond water. Every 18 months or so, the UV light bulb will need to be replaced. It will still light up, but it won't have that UV filtering power that the pond needs. If you run the pond in the winter, you'll have to remove the UV fixture and install a rubber coupling so the unit doesn't crack in the cold.